This is an introduction to shamanism. It's the very beginning of how I started to do what I do. So, anytime the shamans do sacred work, okay, first of all, what's a shaman? A shaman is what we had before we had medicine doctors, before we had medical schools. Every community had a shaman. And the shaman was the medicine person. They knew how to get rid of every illness, injury, situation. There was no such thing as bad luck. If you had bad luck, you had heavy energy. You would go see the shaman. He would spring his father to water. He would shake his rattles. He would do his words, and next thing you know, your bad luck was gone. So these are some of the things that the shaman in the community worked with. They worked with the herbs, the oils, the plants. They worked with stones. And so before they begin their work, the power comes from the Creator that gives them the breath of life. Okay? So the first thing they will teach you, here in America, I was raised Catholic, so I learned how to pray. But I wasn't taught how to listen. I wasn't taught that God can communicate to us. No. Angels, they're in the Bible, but you can't talk to the angels. Ascended masters, they're in the Bible. You can't talk to them. No, you just pray. Pray for Auntie Anna. Pray for Uncle Joe. And that's all you did, was you got on your knees, you prayed for everybody else. There was no communication. And the first thing I learned was to, you shut up long enough, you can hear them. They will talk with you. And you can actually have a conversation with God. And so, I'm going to show you this first, because for me, this is most important. That we have a connection to the Creator that gives us the breath of life. And opening those lines of communication so that we know when we ask a question, it's coming from the pure source of creation. We have a lot of relatives that have passed away. And I love my Uncle Joe dearly. And he's a fine guy. But I don't want to ask him questions regarding my soul. I want to go to God and only God. I want that information coming from pure source of creation, not from somebody that passed away and might be floating around the room. Okay? So how do I do that? I set it up by doing something. It's like I've got the phone number to God. I go, connect to the Creator that gave me the breath of life. Then I ask him or her to fill me with this white light. And then I anchor the white light out the center of the soles of my feet into the light in the earth. In the center of the earth, there is a ball of light as bright as it is what they would call in the heavens, or that spark of creation. Where we come from is a spark of creation. It is brighter than the sun. They show something like that when you're watching TV and you see somebody pass away and they go in the tunnel to the bright white light. It's brighter than that. I mean, it is so bright, but that is as bright in the center of the earth as it is up in the heavens. Okay? So when we plug in as above, so below, the light in our aura, which is our light, magnifies, intensifies, and it just rubs, and they go quicker and faster and quicker and faster. And this white light goes around us and forms a bubble of protection. And it never shuts off. It's coming from source of creation, and it anchors into the earth. The reason we anchor it into the earth is so we can be productive on planet Earth. So there's a lot of light workers, and they say, oh, well, I don't ground. Oh, I'm just like to protect myself with the light. Well, that's okay, fine, if you don't have to work on Earth. But when you have to work on Earth, you've got to have 1 foot in the third dimensional world. So we need to be functional on Earth, and that's the reason why we ground to the light in the earth. If we were floating around on Mars, we would be grounding to Mars, but for right now, we have to be functional on Earth. We still got to get up and balance the checkbook and all those other earthly things. So by grounding to the center of the earth, that helps us maintain our focus and be productive here on Earth. Okay? So, I'll go through it, and if you'd like, you can join me. Okay, so we just connect to the Creator God that gives you the breath of life. In any way that you do this, you know, you can do, hey God, it's me, Jamie, you know, any way that you feel comfortable, okay? So for me, I'm connecting up and I'm saying, Hey God, it's me, Elizabeth. And then in my head, I'm doing an All Father and a Hail Mary, because that's how I increase that. You say, Father, Mother, God, creator of all that is, bless us and guide us in all that we do. Protect us in all ways, shapes, and forms at all levels, planes and dimensions, consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously. Fill us with the white light of Christ. Let this light come through the top of our crown chakra. As it opens the top of our crown chakra, it fills every muscle of your being, every cell of your body, illuminating your DNA, feeding your soul. Light comes out the center of the soles of your feet and anchors into the center of the earth. Right there. Click it right into the center of the earth. And then this light intensifies and magnifies and pours around you. A bubble of protection. For where there is light, nothing dark, negative, or evil can enter or penetrate through. Please, Lord. Shamans, before they begin their work, they do something. They connect, protect, and anchor in the earth, just like that. And then they will open sacred space. And what that does, before they see clients, they will set up the room. And this is an energetic way to clear the space in the room and call in the spirits of the south, the west, the north, the east, those that have gone before us, those yet to be born, and to connect. So this allows a sacred space of energy in which for them to work. So as the clients come into the room, the clients coming from outside with all the chaos and the traffic and the beeping of the horns and all that, but when they step into that sacred space, all of the spirits are holding arm to arm and love, with unconditional love in their heart, holding space for that person to get work done. And so every time we're about to do something or have a ceremony, we do something we call opening sacred space. And it looks something like this. And then we'll use the Florida water. This is Agua de Florida. And we will stand and face from south. Winds of the south, such a mama, great serpent, mother of the waters, we call on you. Come, wrap your coil of light around us. Come teach us your ways. Teach us how to shed the past the way that you shed your skin. Teach us how to walk softly and gently on the belly of Mother Earth. Come to us, such a mama. Protect us and guide us always. Winds of the west, the Parango Jaguar, we call on you. You who know the birth and death of galaxies. You who know the ways between the worlds. Teach us how to step beyond death as you have. Teach us the ways of the warrior who has no enemies in this world or the next. Teach us how to remove our fears and face them. Come to us, protect us and guide us always. The north, grandmothers, grandfathers, ancient ones, mama, Kia, grandma, the moon, great wave, buffalo, hummingbird, kente. Those of you that passed and those of you yet to come, come sit around our medicine circle, come warm your hands by our fire at night. Allow us to hear your voice in the winds and the rustling of the leaves and the crackling of the fire. We call upon you to come, protect us and guide us always. Oh. The east, eagle, condor, owl, hawk, raven, apuchin, land of the rising sun. Teach us how to fly wing to wing with great spirit. Teach us how to fly and soar to places we've never dared fly before. come to us as you protect us and guide us always. Aho. Pachamama, great mother, Mother Earth, we thank you, Mother, for the healing of all of your children. Stone people, the plant people, the two-legged, the four-legged, the creepy crawlers, the ones that burrow deep beneath the earth, swim in the waters and fly through the air, fin, the furred, the feathered. Pachamama, we thank you for Miqui and the Hucha. Eat up that heavy energy in and around us always as you bless us and guide us. Aho. Taiti, Father Sun, Alien Tixi, Weirda Kocha, Pachia, Chichi, Wakanpanka. Great Spirit, God, you who are known by 1,000 names and you who are the nameless one. Come sit around our medicine circle, come warm your hands by our fire at night. Teach us your ways as you bless us and guide us always. Oh. So what this does is this calls in the South. And this is the philosophy around the mesa. The South, the past. Shedding the past so the past no longer haunts us. The West, facing our fears. Coming head to head with your fears so they can no longer bother you. Stepping beyond death in the West. Knowing there's no such thing as death. This human body will go to waste one day. But the soul lives on. You cannot kill the soul. The soul is going home. We are here at this school of earth to learn the lessons, to get our soul to grow to the next level. You can't kill the soul. It's going home. And in the North, we learn how to bring in the wisdom of the ancient ones, grandmothers and grandfathers, how to speak with those that have gone before us and those yet to be born. Our children's children who are not even here yet. We can speak and communicate with them. And then in the East, when we're working in the East, we become the visionary. The path of the eagle and the condor, so high in the sky, a mile in the sky, they can still see a mouse. So this is the mesa, and this is the working of the mesa. And so in these meditations, in these deep meditations, working with soul retrieval and the sacred kuyas. The stones are called kuyas. These are kuyas, the sacred stones, kuyas. And working with the kuyas. So in the very first class you'll come to will be the South. And you'll get the mesa. This is a mastana, okay? The mastanas are woven by the tribes in Peru. And the tribe that I have studied with is the Caro. It's Q''ERO. And the Caro are high up in the Andes Mountains, about 19,000 foot elevation. And they weave their cloths. There's many, many different designs, and each tribe has their own specific designs. And every baby that's born in the tribe gets born on the cloth. They keep the afterbirth in the cloth because they believe it is the closest from where we come from. And that way the energy is infused in the cloths. And of course before we use them, they wash them. So they do clean them up before they let us use them. Sure. But the energy, okay, so I'm gonna pass this around. You can feel the energy. When you're in Peru, there will be many, many cloths. But when you get that cloth and you hold it, you can tell the energy is different. And so that's when you go to Peru, you just gotta go, well, feel all the cloths and find your mace. It's a mastana when it's a cloth. When you work with it, you're building your mesa. So this is folded up in a little bundle, and it's something that you will sleep with every night. You will take it everywhere with you for as many days and nights as you want. I still have my mesa with me 24/7. There are big ones, there are little ones, there are mini rocks, so when I'm telling you go pick 3 rocks, well, if you're going to pick 3 rocks like that, you want to be conscious that you're going to have 3 rocks in each direction. You're going to have a rock in the center, which represents your creation to you. You're going to have a sunstone. You're going to have a tracking stone. Then you will also acquire different things that call to you after you do your mesa with your basic 12 stones. Then you put in your mesa whatever you feel called to. So we have some meteorites, some turquoise, some crystals, some malachite, the crust, this is a meteorite also. This is a carved meteorite, medicine woman. I'll pass her around. Okay? And so the south, we work on shedding the past. And we'll move into a place on a Friday evening. And you had a taste of the Despacho. You came to the Despacho we were doing with Wilson. Wilson is my teacher's son. He was here a couple weeks ago. And a Despacho is what we call a prayer offering to God. So when we need something to happen, it's to benefit the community. We will gather the people and do something called an Aini Despacho. Aini means right reciprocity. It means putting yourself in alignment with the universe. So you will take some leaves and some carnation petals and build this kintu, and you blow your prayers into the kintu, and then the shaman places the kintu in a certain pattern in a diagram, and then they fold it up and they will burn it or bury it. And so the despacho that we had here, we brought back to the house, and Wilson dug this humongous hole, and we said prayer and opened sacred space, and then he put it in the ground. So within 30 days, those prayers are manifesting. Okay, so we tell the people when we're doing the despacho, be mindful of your thoughts, your words, and your actions during that 30-day period. So if you leave here and gossip on the phone with your friend when you leave here, you're a little bit more sensitive to the energies that could bounce back at you when you're doing a despacho. So it's some really sacred work. So this is my little friend she came home with me in March. So the south is about shedding the past. And what'll happen is you'll pick 3 stones. I'll say bring 3 stones, and that's what we're going to work on this weekend. Well, what happens is the Friday evening we'll do a despacho ceremony and a fire ceremony where we will bring it to fire and sing and chant and be in circle. And so on Friday morning we will begin working with the stones that you bring one at a time. And what happens in the first weekend of the work, I'll give you an example. A woman had an abortion. That woman doesn't have to talk about it. Nothing has to be spoken out loud. She can take that stone and we'll test. I'll show her how to test. You use kinesiology, you muscle test to see which one of your chakras wants to be worked on that day. So when I have the people in class and the woman will take the stone, I'll say test your chakras, see which chakra wants to work with that stone. And so the woman will say, oh, my sacrum. So hold it on your sacrum, just breathe, and you let the stone do the work. She just breathed, put her breath right through the stone in the meditation, just lying down, breathing with the stone, breathing with the stone. That stone will pull out the energy from that abortion. And what's happening in that moment in time is that woman and the baby are making peace. The baby comes to the mother understands the baby chose to leave at that moment in time, the mother makes peace. Or now that session with that stone now is no longer the abortion. That stone becomes healed. The situation for the abortion is now healed, and the stone becomes an object of power. So this becomes a healing stone, and when it goes in the mesa, so now later on, she's working with her clients, and she has a young woman come forward, and the young woman picks up that stone. She knows what kind of energy is going to be worked on in this session that they do that day. Just because every woman knows, every person knows their stones. These stones have your blood, your sweat, your tears, all of your energy. So what this becomes is an external representation of yourself. That's why I say you can take photographs, but never take the center. This is private. This is very private, the center. I will say, you know, the other outside stones, anything outside the center, you can touch, you can look at them, you can hold them. My clients will work with them, but not my center. Centers are private, okay? And so a lot of ceremonies too, the shamans will say no photographs. So only certain, you know, pieces of time. There's a lot of stuff on the internet now, even the rites. So Saturday we'll work with the stones. Saturday evening we will do something called the rites of passage. The rites of passage are similar to like a Reiki attunement, for those of you that know Reiki. It's my body teaching your body how to recognize the vibrations of the ancestors. So the teachers from Dan Benito, the Dan Martin, to me, to you. So the energies, these are the rites of passage that the teacher will give the students. And that will be in ceremony. So we'll decorate the room like a wedding, and everybody gets all dressed up, and it is a very sacred, beautiful, beautiful ceremony, all done with really, really beautiful energies and pretty music and flowers all over the place. And so that's a Saturday evening, and this Sunday we will continue the teachings on Sunday, and we leave on a Sunday, late Sunday afternoon. So we're looking for 4 weekends, and we don't have dates now, so we're gonna be picking new dates. So South work is about shedding the past, okay? The West work is about facing the fears. Anything that needs to come up, get it up. We don't trim the tree, we get the roots up. We don't want to see that crap again. We want to be done with it, get rid of it, heal it, done. Okay, but then we get into the North, we start working with the wisdom of the ancient ones. And then the East, becoming the visionary, where it all makes sense, where you become the healer.
So you start with the South.
We start in the South because it's the South American traditions. Okay, the Native Americans here start in the East. And I had asked Don Manuel when I met him 20 years ago, I said, why will you teach me? I mean, I'm honored and I'm happy that you'll teach me, but no one else will teach me. He said, first he said to me, do you learn Italian? I said, no. He said, well, our grandchildren don't want to learn our ways either. And we don't want the medicine to be lost. So we will honor anyone, we will teach anyone who will hold the medicine sacred to their heart. Because this is traditions we don't want to be lost. And they started teaching anyone who would hold the medicine sacred. So this is it. When we do the introduction to shamanism as a way to give you a taste of it, because this is a way of life. This is not something simple, and it's not for everybody. You're going to hold this medicine bundle like you just birthed a new baby. You're going to sleep with this every night in your bed. The first few weeks, my husband's like, does that bundle have to be here? Okay? And then the carpal tunnel kicked in, and his arm was inside the mesa. And I couldn't roll over because his arm was like hooked under the tie. Where's my tie? I tie it with this, and his arm was like in the tie. I couldn't even roll over. I'm like, okay. And within a couple of weeks, he says, where's that bundle? Where's that bundle?
It becomes like a security blanket.
It becomes a security blanket. It is. You no longer need to even be specific with anything. You have a tummy ache, you just put it on your tummy. It eats it. It eats the heavy energy. We feed the mesa. Every time you open the mesa, you feed it. You feed it with flour to water like this. Or you feed it with carnation petals or corn. You can get the Hopi blue corn or the little golden corn. Here's some Hopi blue corn. Anything but cookies. No cookies, no candies, no chocolate. They attract ants.
I noticed you don't have any candles. No candles?
You can.
Oh, okay.
You can be as elaborate as you can do as much as you want. The basic mesa is very simple. 3 rocks, 3 rocks, 3 rocks, 3 rocks. Okay? Then anything in the center that represents God to you. These were my first communion rosary beads.
So when you go to your first class, your first weekend class,
Mhm.
you would bring,
I would tell you to bring 3 stones that call to you, and I would tell you to pick a mistana. Go to the shamansmarket.com, or you can go to shamanstore.com. Shaman's Store is Stevie Bell, Shaman's Market is Brian Bigelow, and they go back and forth to Peru a lot, and they have the mistanas on the internet to sell them. Or you can come with me to Peru next April.